Hey Diecast fans, how you doing? Oh, I got a real treat for you today. I can't wait to show you these. All right, so this is going to be part two of my entire Tomica collection. These are ones that I was actually in the process of accumulating some new ones. I wanted to wait until I got them all in one shot before I showed them off. Some of these I actually had around the time I did that first video. It's just that if I had done all of them, it would have been just way too much to show you in one video. So I kind of held some back. And then I got the last like two in not long ago to kind of fill this out. So we're going to take a look at now part two of the Tomicas. Let's start with our twins I've got here on the turntable. Now here's how I ended up with these twins. From a seller, I ordered, this is a 1980 Toyota Corolla, by the way, rear drive version. I ordered the Corolla and this red Celica from the seller. Well, what happened is when I opened my box, I had two Corollas and there was no red Celica to be found. And I was like, uh-oh, somebody made a boo-boo. So I contacted the seller and told them what happened. And they looked through their records and realized, oh my gosh, I did make a mistake. So they didn't accept returns. And I told them, I said, I actually don't mind having a second one, especially since it's kind of a rare model. So I said, so if you could just fulfill the original order, if it's okay with you, and send the red Celica. And so they did. They sent me the red Celica. So I ended up getting the red Celica for free because these two were already paid for. So that worked out really nice. So I got twins. So one version's slightly nicer than the other because this one's got a little bubble in the paint. The other one's got like perfect paint. So they had, this is in the years when Corolla had, Toyota had two versions of the Corolla. There was a front drive and a rear drive. The rear drive was on the way to being phased out, and the front wheel drive was going to be the new one. I'm not sure if 1980 was the year they started doing that, or maybe it was even 81. I'm not sure exactly. My history on like Japanese cars is not as honed as it is for like American cars. But I do know there was a point in time where they sold the rear drive Corolla and the front drive Corolla side by side. They were phasing out the rear drive one. And I remember there was talk at the Toyota dealerships where people would come in looking at the rear drive, but they would show them the front drive version to kind of give them the idea of look at the interior space and also the all-weather capability the front drive has. I'll tell you what, gosh, I love showing off Tomica cars because their details are so phenomenal. They just are beautiful cars, well done cars. Even when they do put a plastic chassis on them, which is not too often, they do such a nice job. It's always substantial. It's not flimsy. This one has the better paint. This is the better version of the two. Really, really nicely done. The door's always nice and slick. They do such crisp details. So I just really enjoy showing these off. Very nice example of an early 80s rear-wheel drive Corolla. How we know that is because you can see the drive shaft and the little differential underneath there. Okay. Now, they didn't put an issue date on this, but I know that that's the year it is because I remember looking it up online to make sure. That is really nice. All right. So, while we're talking about Toyotas, let's take a look at two more. Now, you've seen my white version of this car. This is the red version. This is about a 1978 Celica. This one is more correct. See, that white one says Supra on it. Trust me, it's not a Supra. Supra's had rectangular headlamps. This is a proper Celica GT liftback. Really nicely done. You can see right there it's got the Celica name on that center pillar. It's a Euro version because you got your right-hand drive. Little sunroof. Really nicely done car. Just like everything that they do. Every detail just so perfectly replicated. And that satisfying snick of those doors as they go closed. It's just so nice. They see fit to put the rear wiper and also the defroster lines as well. Very well done. Yeah, so this is a proper Celica. The other car is a Celica too. They incorrectly put the Supra name on it. So this version, frankly, is a little better because this is more accurate. Nice color scheme too. All right, this is a 1974 Celica. What a nicely done model. I love that kind of turquoise blue. And when I bring it up there to show you some of the details, you're going to really get a kick out of some of the things they did. Now, in 1974, there was actually two... Oh, I'm sorry. My gosh, I'm bumping the camera. The reason I'm getting up is I want to show you something. Bear with me a minute. So, in 1974, there were two body styles of the Celica. There was this notchback you see on the turntable. And then there was also a liftback version. I have a liftback version. It's not a Tomica. It's actually a Matchbox modern diecast in their moving parts series. So in a minute I'll bring that up and show you that. Let's take a look at the Tomica real quick. But this thing is so well done. Look at this. The wheels, instead of being plated chrome, they're white. That makes it really stand out. See, it's got the little GT emblem. It's a little bit big. It's not quite to scale, but you know what? They wanted it to be legible, so they made it a little bit enlarged. Nicely done front end with the grille and everything. I love the stripe they put right here. Got the little GT emblem painted on there. They tooled up the Celica on the side there. Well done tail lamps. Oh, I love the way those doors close. I mean, is that just a nicely done model or what? Oh gosh, I just can't get over how good they do these cars. I love them. All right. So this was, like I said, this is a Matchbox, but I just wanted to show it to you for comparison's sake. So that's what the liftback version looked like. Completely different tail lamps. Obviously different roof line, but the front end was basically the same. And then this one's got an opening hood on it. I think it opens reverse, if I remember correctly. Yes, it does. Yeah. There you go. So that's the Matchbox version of the same car, but in liftback style. Frankly, I'll be honest with you. I think the Tomica version is nicer. I really do. It's just the detailing is just vastly superior. And they were doing this with 1970s tooling, by the way. Look at that. Now this is interesting. Made in China. These were usually made in Japan. That's interesting. This has got a release date of 1974, which is coincidentally the same year as the car. Very nice. All right, let's move on. Let's show you an American car by Tomica. What do you think of that beauty, huh? F-body fanatics are going to love it. 1978 Pontiac Trans Am by Tomica, and it wants to escape off the turntable because of those wonderful freewheeling wheels it's got. Black body with the gold bird, and it's also got gold wheels too. But it's not a black and gold edition because you can see it's got that red interior. But and also not all the other pinstripes and things that go with it. But what a fantastic effort that Tomica did with this little car. I mean, they replicated the honeycomb style grille. The texture is a little bit large, but like I said, they were trying to make the details pop and be accurate. Great effort on the Phoenix Rising graphic, as that's really called. Not the Screaming Chicken. That's what the, enthusiasts like to call it. Really well done. Like the gold wheels. And this, the black paint on this is just absolutely flawless. All you can see is like my fingerprints, which are unavoidable, unfortunately. Those great closing doors. There it is. Got your issue date of 1978 right on there. Pontiac Firebird Trans Am. This one's actually made in Japan. That's so wild how that Celica was made in China. Usually all the Tomicas were made in Japan. And I'll tell you what, their tooling engineers must have really did their research because they always did the details on these things just about perfectly. Little ducktail spoiler on there. I mean, just look at that. Is that a great looking Tomica F-body or what? I love that thing. Very nicely done. All right. Let's look at this little honey. Now, here in the U.S., we knew this car as a Datsun 200SX. I believe this was initially introduced in 1980, and I think this body lasts until, 83. This was during that transitionary period when you had both the Datsun and the Nissan name on the car. They were transitioning to calling them Nissan after 1983. This could be either an 80 or 81 version. In the home market, this was called a Nissan Silvia. I'll show you on the chassis there. See that right there? This one doesn't have an issue date, but yeah, it is, like I said, either an 80, 81. You'll see right here it says 200SX on the door. That's because, this was a US version, so they definitely would have put the US name on it. Love how they did like a jewel style tail lamp. That is so sharp. It's a great color. Hot Wheels did a version of this car, and I'm going to tell you something. Their version stinks. I'm serious. Compared to this, their version stinks. I think this is the vastly superior car. Look how they did the headlamps, the little grille texture. I mean, what fantastic details. Can't get enough of those doors. I could open and close these doors all day. But alas, I cannot. Too many other responsibilities. Got the little scoops on the hood there. Yeah, these were a fun car. There's a guy whose channel I watch quite often. He sells classic cars. He's called Competition Cars of Myrtle Beach. His name is Bill. Coincidentally, just like mine. And he got one of these in, but it was the liftback version. And it's in mint condition. It was astounding to see one of these things after all these years in that kind of condition. So yeah, I forgot to mention that. They did make these in two versions. A notchback that you see here and also a liftback version. Very cool. And let's take a look at a fine example of a motor car from Germany. Yes. So in the US, we knew this as a Rabbit. Over in Europe, especially Germany, it was called a Golf, made by Volkswagen. This was the replacement for the Beetle. Much more modern and capable car than a Beetle ever could dream of being. But you can't fault the Beetle because it did put millions of people with low budgets, small budgets, on the road. This is a nice little two-door version that they do, that Tomica does. Once again, you've got this fantastic details. Look how they replicated the little VW symbol, the headlamps, the trim around the grille there. Got the great little opening doors. Looks like they actually cast in a armrest. They did, yeah, right there. They did tool up the emblems. Volkswagen there on the left. Golf GLE on the right. So this is definitely a Euro version because it says Golf on it. But yeah, like I said, yeah, we knew this as a Rabbit in the US. Came in both 2- and 4-door versions. And then later on in the 80s, they actually had a little pickup, believe it or not. It was kind of cool. It's got a little metal sliding sunroof. And, these were pretty decent little cars. Very well built. Very fuel efficient. Front wheel drive, get you through the winter. Tomica is, man. Can't get over this, the absolute quality and care that goes into these cars. Just fantastic. All right. Moving right along. I'm going to show you, I think this is actually the last one. So I have yet another Mercedes 450 SEL to show you. This is Tomica's version. And once again, by far, I think it's superior. This comes in a lot of color schemes, guys. This is one of the better ones, I think. I like the blue with the kind of orangey interior. There's also a blue with a red interior. I don't like that as much. To me, that just kind of is a little bit off. I kind of forgave this Celica for having a red interior with the turquoise because it's just so cool looking. But there's also a silver one with like a blue interior. I've seen a white one. I've seen a lot of versions. Most of them were Japan market only versions. But this one here is just got some nice sharp details on it. You got a stand-up hood ornament. You've got the shiny headlamps. They're chrome. They did there. They all have suspension. Very nicely done interior. Right down to the pleats on the seats there. And just, oh gosh, I just love these cars. I know I'm raving about them, right? They even saw fit to do a little rear view mirror etched into the glass there. That's really cool. Very nice shade of blue. I'm always a sucker for a blue car, you know that. corrugations on the tail lamps. It says Benz there in the license plate cavity. Really cool. Show you this under here. I believe this is a casting from 1976, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Oh, what a nicely done car. So yes, there you have it. My fellow Diecast fans, that's the remaining collection of the Tomica cars. I really hope you enjoyed that. I enjoy showing them off to you. Always will too. It's just a lot of fun for me. So, hope you guys enjoyed that. You stay safe. God bless, and we'll see you in the next video.